Glaucias's ascent was not without challenges. Rival factions within the Illyrian landscape were resistant to the idea of a single ruler, fearing that the establishment of a monarchy would undermine their autonomy. Yet Glaucias was undeterred. He embarked on a campaign of diplomacy, engaging with tribal leaders and emphasizing the advantages of unity. He argued that a single king could provide strength and stability, allowing the Illyrian people to defend themselves against external threats and ensure prosperity for future generations. His persuasive skills, combined with his military successes, helped him garner support from key leaders, laying the foundation for his eventual ascension to the throne. With the backing of influential tribes, Glaucias declared himself king, marking a historic moment for the Illyrians. He understood that his reign would require more than military might. It would necessitate fostering a sense of shared identity among the diverse tribes. The symbolism of his kingship was significant, representing the hope for unity and strength in the face of adversity. As the first king of Illyria, Glaucias recognized that his legacy would depend on his ability to navigate the complexities of tribal politics while simultaneously defending the interests of his people. This pivotal moment marked the beginning of a new era in Illyrian history, one defined by the potential for collective strength and unity. As Glaucias took the throne, the challenges of leadership quickly became apparent. The Illyrian tribes, while recognizing his authority, remained wary of the potential loss of their independence. Many tribal leaders were reluctant to relinquish their power to a centralized authority, fearing that their unique customs and traditions would be compromised. Glaucias faced the delicate task of balancing the demands of tribal autonomy with the necessity of creating a cohesive kingdom. He understood that to foster loyalty and cooperation, he would need to be inclusive and sensitive to the concerns of his subjects. To address these challenges, Glaucias implemented a council system that allowed representatives from various tribes to participate in decision-making processes. This approach helped to alleviate concerns about centralization, as tribal leaders felt their voices were heard and respected. Glaucias emphasized the importance of collaboration, stressing that the success of the Illyrian kingdom depended on their collective strength. By incorporating tribal leaders into governance, he cultivated a sense of shared ownership over the kingdom's future, encouraging unity without undermining local customs. Moreover, Glaucias recognized that effective leadership extended beyond the political realm. It also encompassed the welfare of his people. He implemented measures to improve trade and agriculture, understanding that a prosperous economy would strengthen the bonds among tribes. By enhancing communication and trade routes, he facilitated cooperation between different regions, promoting economic interdependence. Glaucias's commitment to the well-being of his subjects earned him the respect and loyalty of the tribes, reinforcing his legitimacy as king and leader. Despite his best efforts, Glaucias faced internal dissent from factions opposed to his rule. Some tribal leaders conspired against him, believing they could restore the fragmented status quo. However, Glaucias remained resolute in his vision for a united Illyria. He addressed the dissent through diplomacy, engaging with the disgruntled leaders and seeking common ground. His ability to navigate these challenges showcased his skills as a leader who valued dialogue and understanding. Glaucias's determination to foster unity, despite facing opposition, highlighted the complexities of leadership in a diverse and historic. Recognizing the importance of alliances for the survival and prosperity of his newly formed kingdom, Glaucias embarked on a diplomatic mission to strengthen relationships with neighboring tribes and powerful city-states. He understood that establishing alliances could provide not only military support but also economic benefits, bolstering Illyrian trade and security. Glaucias traveled extensively, engaging with influential leaders, and promoting the idea of collective security against common enemies, such as the advancing Macedonian forces. His charisma and diplomatic skills were crucial in persuading neighboring tribes to consider cooperation instead of conflict. One of Glaucias's most notable diplomatic achievements was the alliance with the Thesprotes, a tribe known for its formidable warriors. Through a combination of strategic marriages and mutual defense pacts, Glaucias successfully forged a bond that strengthened both kingdoms. This alliance proved essential as external threats loomed, and the partnership between the Illyrians and the Thesprots provided a formidable front against aggression. Glaucias understood that alliances were not merely tactical arrangements, they represented a deeper commitment to shared values and mutual support among the tribes. In addition to military alliances, Glaucias recognized the importance of fostering trade relationships with Greek city-states along the coast. By establishing trade routes and facilitating the exchange of goods, he enhanced economic stability for his kingdom. The influx of Greek culture and trade not only enriched Illyrian society, but also helped to legitimize Glaucias's rule in the eyes of neighboring powers. The mutual benefits of trade agreements created a sense of interdependence that encouraged cooperation and peaceful relations, further solidifying Glaucias's vision for a united. As Glaucias built these alliances, he faced skepticism from some tribal leaders who questioned the wisdom of engaging with outsiders. They feared that too much reliance on external forces could jeopardize Illyrian sovereignty. However, Glaucias skillfully addressed these concerns by emphasizing that alliances were strategic means to strengthen their position, not to diminish their autonomy. He fostered open dialogue, allowing tribal leaders to voice their apprehensions while demonstrating how collaboration could enhance Illyrian power and security. His ability to navigate these complexities showcased his diplomatic acumen, solidifying his role as a unifying figure in Illyrian history. As Glaucias worked to solidify alliances and expand his kingdom, he recognized the importance of cultural integration in fostering a shared Illyrian identity. The diverse tribes that made up Illyria each had their own customs, languages, and traditions, making it crucial for Glaucias to promote a sense of belonging among his subjects. He understood that the strength of his kingdom relied not only on military power and political alliances, but also on the cultural bonds that could unite the people. To achieve this, Glaucias initiated programs that celebrated Illyrian heritage, encouraging festivals and gatherings that showcased the rich tapestry of Illyrian culture. These cultural events served as a platform for various tribes to come together, sharing their traditions, music, and art. Glaucias invited leaders from different regions to participate, fostering an atmosphere of respect and appreciation for diversity. By showcasing the unique contributions of each tribe, he helped to cultivate a sense of pride in being Illyrian. The festivals became a symbol of unity, reminding the tribes that despite their differences, they shared a common history and destiny. Glaucias believed that a strong cultural identity would serve as a foundation for the political unity he sought to achieve. In addition to cultural celebrations, Glaucias also emphasized the importance of a common language and shared symbols. He encouraged the use of the Illyrian language in administrative affairs, promoting it as a means of communication among the tribes. Glaucias understood that language was a powerful tool for fostering unity and breaking down barriers. Furthermore, he sought to establish a set of common symbols that represented the Illyrian kingdom, reinforcing a shared identity. These efforts aimed to create a sense of belonging among the diverse tribes, solidifying the foundations of. Glaucias's commitment to cultural integration was not without its challenges. Some tribal leaders were resistant to the idea of adopting common practices, fearing it would erode their unique identities. However, Glaucias approached these concerns with sensitivity, emphasizing that cultural integration did not mean the loss of individuality. Instead, he promoted the idea that a united Illyrian identity could coexist with the rich diversity of customs and traditions. By fostering open dialogue and demonstrating the benefits of unity, Glaucias gradually garnered support for his vision, paving the way for a more cohesive Illyrian kingdom. Despite Glaucias's successes in building alliances and fostering unity among the Illyrian tribes, the looming threat of Macedonian expansion continued to cast a shadow over Illyria. King Philip II of Macedonia was renowned for his military prowess and ambition, and Glaucias understood that the survival of his kingdom depended on remaining vigilant against this formidable neighbor. The Macedonian forces had already begun to encroach on Illyrian territory, seeking to assert dominance over the region. Glaucias recognized that the time for decisive action was approaching, as he had to prepare his kingdom for the inevitable confrontation. To counter the Macedonian threat, Glaucias called for a gathering of tribal leaders, emphasizing the need for unity in the face of external aggression. He presented a detailed strategy that outlined a coordinated military response, urging the tribes to pool their resources and strengths. Glaucias's experience as a military commander gave him credibility, and his persuasive speeches inspired many leaders to rally behind his vision. He understood that divided, the tribes would be vulnerable, but united, they could present a formidable resistance. In the months leading up to the impending conflict, Glaucias prioritized military preparations, training his troops and fortifying strategic positions along the borders. He implemented a series of drills and exercises to ensure that his warriors were well prepared for battle. Recognizing the significance of morale, Glaucias made it a point to engage directly with his troops, instilling a sense of pride and purpose among the soldiers. His charisma and leadership on the training grounds helped to solidify the loyalty of his warriors, who viewed him as both a king and a commander committed to protecting their homeland. As the Macedonian forces began to mobilize, Glaucias knew that time was of the essence. He reached out to his allies, reinforcing their commitment to the cause. His diplomatic efforts ensured that the Thesprotes and other allied tribes were prepared to stand with the Illyrians in the upcoming battle. The realization that they faced a common enemy galvanized the tribes, strengthening their resolve to protect their land and sovereignty. Glaucias's ability to foster cooperation among disparate factions showcased his leadership prowess and commitment to the survival of Illyria in the face of adversity. The anticipated conflict between the Illyrians and the Macedonian forces came to a head on the battlefield, marking a pivotal moment in Illyrian history. As the sun rose on the day of battle, Glaucias stood at the forefront of his united army, gazing across the field at the approaching Macedonian troops. The atmosphere was charged with tension, and the air crackled with the anticipation of the impending clash. Glaucias knew that the outcome of this battle would not only determine the fate of Illyria, but also define his legacy as its first king. The Illyrian forces, bolstered by their alliances and the spirit of unity, took up strategic positions on the rugged terrain. Glaucias employed guerrilla tactics, utilizing the natural landscape to their advantage. His troops were well trained and motivated, fighting not just for their king, but for their homes and families. As the Macedonian forces advanced, the Illyrians unleashed a barrage of arrows from elevated positions, aiming to disrupt their formations. The initial advantage in terrain played a crucial role in bolstering the Illyrian morale, as they fought fiercely, determined to protect their homeland. As the battle raged on, Glaucias's leadership shone brightly. He moved among his troops, offering encouragement and tactical advice, embodying the spirit of a warrior king. His presence on the front lines inspired courage and determination, reminding his soldiers of the stakes involved in this fight. However, the Macedonian forces, known for their disciplined formations and superior numbers, began to push back. Glaucias realized that the battle was becoming increasingly fierce, and he had to adapt his strategy to counter the Macedonian advancements. In a moment of strategic brilliance, Glaucias ordered a tactical retreat to regroup his forces. This maneuver was not a sign of weakness, but rather a calculated decision to preserve the strength of his army for future engagements. He directed his troops to fall back to a more defensible position, allowing them to regroup and prepare for a counterattack. This adaptability showcased Glaucias's military acumen as he navigated the complexities of warfare with finesse. The determination of the Illyrians to resist Macedonian domination remained strong, setting the stage for further struggles to secure their. The aftermath of the battle left the Illyrian kingdom in a state of uncertainty. While Glaucias's forces had demonstrated remarkable resilience and bravery, the clash with the Macedonians highlighted the challenges that lay ahead. The battle had resulted in significant casualties on both sides, leaving the Illyrians to grapple with loss and mourning. Glaucias understood that the morale of his people was fragile, and he needed to act swiftly to restore hope and confidence. He called for a gathering of his warriors, emphasizing their courage in the face of overwhelming odds. In this gathering, Glaucias honored the fallen warriors, acknowledging their sacrifices for the kingdom. He shared stories of bravery and resilience, reminding his subjects that their struggle was not in vain. Glaucias's ability to articulate a vision for the future served to reignite the spirit of resistance among his people. He emphasized that the battle was merely a chapter in their ongoing struggle for independence and that the ideals of unity and self-determination would guide their efforts. His words resonated deeply with his warriors, instilling a renewed sense of purpose in the face of adversity. In the wake of the battle, Glaucias also recognized the need for reflection and reassessment. He convened a council with tribal leaders to evaluate their strategies and adapt to the changing circumstances. The leaders discussed the challenges posed by the Macedonian threat and the need for further collaboration among the tribes. Glaucias urged them to view this as an opportunity for growth, emphasizing that unity was essential for overcoming future obstacles. Together, they strategized on how to fortify their defenses and enhance their military capabilities, ensuring that they would be better prepared for future conflicts. Glaucias's vision for a united Illyrian kingdom became more critical than ever. The battle had tested their resolve, and he understood that the road ahead would be fraught with difficulties. Yet, he remained steadfast in his belief that their collective strength and shared identity would prevail. By fostering cooperation among the tribes, he aimed to build a more resilient Illyrian nation capable of withstanding external threats. Glaucias's determination to forge a united front in the face of adversity would shape the future of Illyria, leaving a lasting legacy for generations to come. As the years passed, the legacy of Glaucias became firmly entrenched in the annals of Illyrian history. His vision of a unified kingdom and the foundations he laid for cooperation among the tribes became cornerstones of Illyrian identity. The stories of his courage, leadership, and commitment to unity were passed down through generations, becoming part of the cultural memory of the Illyrian people. Glaucias emerged not only as a king but as a symbol of resilience and hope, embodying the ideals of self-determination and unity in the face of adversity. The alliances forged during his reign proved crucial in the continued resistance against external threats. The coalition of tribes that Glaucias had cultivated became a model for future leaders, demonstrating the importance of collaboration and shared purpose. His legacy served as a reminder that the strength of Illyria lay in its diversity, and that by embracing their differences, the tribes could forge a more formidable and cohesive identity. Glaucias's emphasis on cultural integration and cooperation resonated throughout Illyrian history, shaping the trajectory of the kingdom for generations. Even after his passing, Glaucias's influence endured. Subsequent Illyrian leaders invoked his name and ideals as they faced their challenges, drawing inspiration from his vision of unity and resistance. The struggles fought during his reign served as a wellspring of motivation for future generations, reminding them of the sacrifices made for the freedom of their homeland. Glaucias became a figure of folklore and legend, his story woven into the fabric of Illyrian identity, reminding the people of their shared history and the importance of standing together. In the grand narrative of Illyrian history, Glaucias's reign marked a pivotal turning point. His unwavering commitment to unity, cultural integration, and resistance against oppression laid the groundwork for a stronger and more cohesive Illyrian kingdom. The values he championed, courage, resilience, and the pursuit of collective strength, continued to inspire those who sought to reclaim their identity and autonomy. Glaucias's life and legacy became a beacon of hope, serving as a reminder that even in the face of adversity, the spirit of the Illyrian people would endure, paving the way for a brighter future. Glaucias emerged as the first recognized king of the Illyrians during a period marked by tribal fragmentation and conflict. Born into the Dardani tribe, he grew up in an environment filled with competition and strife. The Illyrian tribes often found themselves in conflict with one another, and external threats loomed large from neighboring powers like the Macedonians and the Thracians. Despite these challenges, Glaucias possessed a vision of a unified Illyrian kingdom, one that would rise above tribal divisions and establish a lasting legacy. His journey to kingship began as he garnered the loyalty and support of his people through his impressive leadership skills and military prowess. As a young warrior, Glaucias demonstrated remarkable courage and tactical brilliance in battle. His strategic mind was evident during skirmishes against rival tribes, where he displayed an ability to rally his forces and inspire loyalty among his comrades. He understood that unity among the tribes was essential for survival and protection against external threats. Over time, Glaucias emerged as a charismatic figure, and his reputation began to spread across Illyria. Recognizing the potential for a leader capable of uniting the tribes, many began to view him as a natural choice for kingship, hoping he could bring about the change they so desperately needed.